Now I've got a pretty neat pattern for you today. It's one I'd never tied before, never even heard of. It's called the Reverend Lang. I found it in Randall Scott Stetzer's Flies the Best 1000. It's a typical mayfly dry fly pattern, and I did some quick research to try and find out who Reverend Lang was. I couldn't find it, but I did find that this pattern is available for sale out there, so it's not a forgotten fly. Maybe it's not a real popular fly, but it's out there. This is definitely a pretty cool looking pattern, and I think it might be pretty effective. So there it is in the vise, the Reverend Lang. Pretty standard, typical mayfly dry fly pattern, but kind of cool looking. Now I'm tying this on a size 12. I believe this is a standard length barbless dry fly hook. And I'm going to use some black 70 denier thread. Go ahead and catch it in anywhere near the middle. Take it back toward the start of the bend. And the tail is white calf body hair, not calf tail. Calf tail is totally different from this white body hair. And, not an insignificant tuft. So if you've never tied with this, it's pretty neat stuff. It's not the easiest to work with. You'll see it makes a little bit of a mess. But let's go ahead and get this caught in. Okay, that's decent for a tail right there. Now, I'm gonna snip all this mess up front. This might take a second. All right, that's close enough. I got a couple of fibers going all over the place, but let's go ahead and take our thread up here just a couple eye lengths back where we're going to tie in the wing, upright wing, kind of a post. And this is also white calf body hair. So also maybe a tuft about the same size. Okay, several wraps to get this bound in. We're going to stack it or post it upright here in just a second. Okay, that's a little bit of a mess. I'm going to go ahead and bury these butt ends right here just to make sure they don't go anywhere on us. Now we'll stand this upright, just like you were doing a parachute post. So a few wraps up under it to kind of prop it up. But what we'll also do is, we could do it like that. You don't need to necessarily do this step, but I like to kind of bind these together, just to put a couple of wraps just around the post. Like you were tying it as a parachute, but it's not. It's just an upright wing. Okay, so that is upright. Oh boy, this is a mess of a fly, isn't it? All right, I'm going to do one more around it. There we go. Okay, we got them bunched together, and I tied that's a little bit too far forward, I think. We're going to see if we can make it work, but ideally that post would be a little bit farther back than it is. So, okay, disregard this mess for a minute. Take your thread back to the front of that tail. Go ahead and put some wax on it. And we're going to dub the body with black. Recipe calls for black rabbit, but I don't think rabbit is all that vital. Tie whatever you like your dry flies with. Could be a synthetic, maybe a super fine. This is rabbit because, I have it and it was convenient. But go ahead and get maybe a 3-inch noodle. We're going to dub it right to the back of that wing. Okay, get a little taper if you can. If not, I wouldn't worry about it. Last component, brown dry fly hackle, and I would go at least a 1.5 times the hook gap here. All right, now let's catch this thing in. Since I am going to have to put more wraps behind this post than in front of it, I'm catching it in a little bit farther back than I might normally. But how this fly is shaping up, I'm not going to get a whole lot of wraps in front of that post without really clobbering my eye. So I am adapting here. So maybe 3 or 4 wraps behind it, and then we'll see if we can get one, probably just one in front of it. Go one more back here, see if we can pull that off. And now one more in front. Maybe I can get 2 in front. I'm gonna go for it. I might regret it when I'm trying to finish this head, but we'll see. So go ahead and secure this feather. And I can still see my eye, but it's getting pretty crowded. So what I'm going to do before I snip that excess feather off, I'm going to pull everything back and then just make some room right here for my head. Okay, my eye is still okay. Can still get a tippet through there. So let's web finish it real quick. Try to, without catching any of these fibers going forward. That would just be more we'll have to trim at the end. So kind of zigzag it through right here. Now we just got to snip this excess off and see if we have any cleanup. That's a pretty big bushy fly, but I don't think we need any cleanup. So question for you, do we need head cement on a fly like this? Don't have a whole lot of room for it. Well, the answer is yes. Head cement is not just to make it pretty, it's to make it more durable. So just reach in there, put a smallest drop of head cement or UV resin right up on those thread wraps. You'll be good to go. So that's it, my friends, the Reverend Lang. I appreciate you watching. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time.